Okay, you know that question, what would you do if you knew that you could not fail? Very common question. You've heard it before. I believe it's ineffective in the sense that it's very logical and it puts you in this kind of like fantasy state and you start thinking about it and then you're like, okay, what's the next question? Because it doesn't tap into anything emotional and it becomes a game, right? So toss that question out the window. Let's go in through a different door. 3 circles. First circle is white, fire, passion. Okay, and what I mean by that is not just interest, it's not a hobby. It's something that you are so passionate about that you are willing to commit your life to this. Okay, and if you don't know it, it's okay to not know it. And also, that passion can change. It's like purpose, where I don't believe that we have one purpose. We're not on a singular path to ring one bell. We should be ringing bells all the time, you know? So whatever it is that you have white fire passion for these days. Is that a lawnmower? I live on the 4th floor and I love the breeze. It's one of my favorite things. And so my windows are open and there's lawnmowers and fire engines and dogs barking and that will continue to happen because I will not close my windows. Okay, so white fire passion is 1 circle. Second circle is your potential. And the word I want you to put before potential in bold is how curious. How curious are you about your potential? How curious are you about what you can do, what you can build, how hard you could love, how far you could swim, how far you could run, how strong you can be. So it doesn't matter what you're passionate about. How curious are you about how far you could throw that stone? Okay, how big of a dent can you leave in this in the universe? So getting very curious, tapping into that curiosity and the power of curiosity. Third circle. Pissed off, and I don't mean to just get angry. I'm talking about tapping into the emotional piece of why you haven't gotten what you wanted in your life, or why you're not who you want to be, and using the power of, oh my god. All right, I closed 1 window for you guys. Now there's firefighters. Firefighters have a white fire passion for fighting fires. I'm sorry. Okay, so using your story and looking back, and using the emotional buildup to your the arc of your story and why you're not where you're at. What fears did you listen to? What situations happened that you had no control over? What relationships threw you off your path, and how did you react that you wish you hadn't, or whatever. So using your story and who you were and being angry about that, and I say angry in a healthy sense. I don't mean to start throwing chairs and being resentful. I'm talking about just kind of tapping into that in a healthy way to fire you up. So 3 circles, right? The white fire, I think it's flame. English is my second language. Maybe it's a white flame, passion. 1 circle. The other circle is how curious are you about what you can do. And the third circle is tapping into your story and the power of what you could have done, your story as it builds, and who you were and who you want to be, and the anger behind that. What you want to do and what prevented you from what you wanted to do, okay? All those things, right? So whether it's you or other people or situations, the intersection between all those circles is where the potency is. It's where we want to tap into. So the question is this. The question is, what would it look like in your everyday life if that is where you pulled from? The intersection between your white flame passion, what you're willing to commit your life to, the intersection between that, how curious you are about what you can do, and what people believe you can't, right? What kind of dent do you want to make in this universe before you die? How curious are you about that? And the third circle being why you're not where you are and all the obstacles and roadblocks and shit that have prevented you from being there. Question is, what would your days look like? What would it look like to execute, to pull from that space, and how would that ripple throughout your life? That is a question, but it is also a map. You answer that question any way you want, and in front of you, your answer will give you a map. That's the first half. Second half is executing it. And I guarantee you, if you do it with honesty and diligence, you will launch.